What if I tell you that I can make Croesus as easy as humanly possible for anyone to learn by using SusAlert on Alt1 and actually explaining it in dummy terms how to do a kill? Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on guys? My name is SusAlert here and welcome to my first ever guide in Croesus. In this guide I'm going to be showing you how to actually get kills at Croesus as an absolute beginner. I am expecting you to have zero to very little experience at going to Croesus and actually getting a few kills in for yourself. So I'm going to be going over everything. On screen right now you can see all the chapters. It will also be in the chapters below the video, like next to the time played, and in the description down below if you want to find it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you want to see any other guides. If you think that this is useful, if you have any feedback, just let me know. Subscribe if you're new, if you enjoy it. Like the video because it genuinely really helps me out. And let's get into the requirements on starting Croesus. So here are the general requirements for Croesus. The wiki recommends you to have 80 and at least the 4 stats that are required to do Croesus, being hunter, mining, fishing, or woodcutting, depending on which role you start with. If you want an easy starters role, I would recommend you going with hunter, because even if you have a slightly lower level, or if you don't have all the boosts, which we'll be going over in the gear section of this guide, then hunter will still be the quickest to do so. Even in like higher end teams, it's literally called the leech role because it is that easy compared to the other roles. So if you want to have an easier role to start with hunter. However, I do recommend you having 99 if possible, because with mining, for example, the mining skill cape really does help, but it is not required, but it's really recommended because it just really helps you out, gather the resource quicker. And especially if you're not going with anyone who's teaching you, if you're just going with complete randoms, it is quite nice to actually be able to gather your resources quite quickly, and it will just help you if you really want to camp Croesus. The next requirement, which is not a required hard thing that you need, but it's highly recommended, is Crystal Mask. Crystal Mask is unlocked by the Light Within quest and is an ancient spell that pretty much makes it so when you get hit by a mechanic, you don't get instantly drained by Croesus, and you have some time to kind of like mess up the mechanic and still dodge it in a way. Another good benefit of it is that it completely negates the slimes at Croesus, which are a very annoying mechanic, and with Crystal Mask you can just stand there and completely ignore them and pretty much just do DPS / gather more resources. So is it required? No. Do I highly recommend it? Yes, but I'll be showing you how to deal with the mechanic anyway if you do not have Crystal Mask, for example, when you're skiller or you just cannot be asked. But go get it. It generally changes everything at Croesus. Next up, protein locks or Santa's fire torch. Protein locks are a hard requirement, but if you have the 250 mil to spare, go buy yourself a Santa's fire torch. It will clear the sticky fungus in 1 tick instead of 3 ticks. We'll be going over how to clear the sticky fungi in the later section of the guide when we go over the mechanics, but protein locks are a hard requirement. Just have them in your inventory and you'll be fine. Lastly, restores. Restores are pretty much your food here because Croesus doesn't do actual damage like normal bosses do. It drains your stats. When your stats get drained too much, you will actually be killed, or you pretty much pass out and you'll fail your kill, at least on your end. So just make sure you have restores in your inventory. I usually bring 2 flasks, but when you start, I recommend bringing a little bit more and just restoring as soon as you get hit. Some things that I do recommend, however, and I wouldn't say is a requirement, but if you have it, it will highly benefit you, is having either double search or bladed dive. For the minefield mechanic, it is just very nice if you have double search because you can clear the entire minefield with it. There's another way to clear the minefield, but it is just very difficult, and I would just say invest that 40 mil into double search or go spend some time getting bladed dive so you have 2 searches available to clear with the mechanic, because it just makes it so much easier to go over that. Also, if you can get the Artifan's Measure, which is an item unlocked by archaeology, it can help you restore your statue slightly quicker. It is really not required, but it's just a nice thing to have if you can get it. But that is everything you need to do Croesus. But there's one other thing that I would really recommend you getting, and that is SusAlert. Go get SusAlert. SusAlert will show you when each mechanic is going to happen via Alt1 Toolkit. If you haven't downloaded Alt1 Toolkit just yet, make sure to do it. It is very helpful with a lot of things in the game, like dungeoneering, clue scrolls with, for example, puzzle boxes, but apparently there's also a SusAlert, which helps you with Croesus when it tells you when each mechanic happens. I will show you how to fully use it when we go over the mechanic section. Because I'm going to make this guide with the idea that you're actually using it, because it just makes it so much easier. It is allowed by Jagex because it's an overlay. It doesn't do anything for you in the game besides telling you when anything is going to happen. So just go get it. Go into the links in the description down below. Download Alt1 first if you don't have it. And if you already have it, go to GitHub. There's an explanation on the GitHub. It does it way better than I could ever do it. So just make sure to actually just read it, install it, and you will be fine to go and deal with all the mechanics. Let's get into the gear. Let's start off with the woodcutting roll. Have a crystal hatchet. I would say this is a hard requirement. Don't go here with the dragon hatchet. Bite the bullet, camp those harps, go get it, tiger. Next up, perfect juju woodcutting potion. This increases the chance of you getting double procs when you're woodcutting. This is very useful when you're gathering resources because it goes quicker, because you sometimes get 2 instead of 1. Next up, Nature Sentinel outfit, the elite skilling outfit for woodcutting. I would highly recommend you getting it. It's not a hard requirement, but just get it. Like seriously, just camp some trees, go get it. It makes it a lot easier. Lumberjack aura is next up. If you cannot get it because you don't have loyalty points, but you have all the other boosts, you should be fine. And that kind of works with everything in this guide. As long as you are missing 1 boost, you should be fine, but don't miss more than 1 boost. So in the example of woodcutting, if you don't have the outfit, make sure you have the crystal hatchet, the perfect juju potion, the lumberjack aura, and the beavers. Lastly, get 2 beavers, 1 to pop at the start of the kill and 1 to pop midway through the kill. Usually when you're starting, you need to bank, so you can just get one from the bank. But when you're doing like pro strats, whatever you want to call it, you will usually be able to stay for an entire hour. So just bring the extra beaver. Next up, mining. If you have it, bring your pickaxe of Earth and Song with Hone 6. I know it's quite difficult and expensive to get, but it's the absolute best in slot here. If you do not have it, bring an Elder Rune pickaxe +5. That should do just fine if you have all the boosts active. Next up, the mining skill cape. This will help you get more resources more quickly. The mining elite skilling outfit also really does help in the magic golem outfit. Also helps you with getting resources and just in general get resources quicker. Quarry Master, same thing as the other 2. And Lava Titan to have a mining boost and also help you get the resources quicker. Bring 2 because 1 won't last you an entire hour. Fishing. For fishing, you want the fishing rod O-Matic with Hone 6. The crystal fishing rod does not work here. So the best in slot is the fishing rod O-Matic with Hone 6. So I would say it's an actual hard requirement. Get a perfect juju fishing potion. This will help you gather resources more quickly. The Fury Shark outfit also really helps here, and make sure to have it. Just with any of the other rolls as well. If you're missing 1 of these, it is fine, but don't miss 1 or more boosts, because then you will actually be struggling during the kills. Next up, the Call of the Sea aura helps you get a resource more quickly, and the Granite Lobsters to get a boost in fishing, and bring 2 because they won't last you an entire hour. And lastly, the role I recommend everyone starting with if you're a learner, the Hunter role. Make sure to get a magic butterfly net. If you don't know how to get it, you go to Puro and hand in specific types of implinks. On a main account, you can just buy them, and on Iron Man account, you just want to spend some time actually capturing it, because the magic butterfly net generally makes a huge difference. Get the volcanic trapper outfit if you have it. I wouldn't say this is a hard requirement like all the other skilling outfits I would say are, because as I said earlier, Hunter is a lot quicker than the other roles, so you don't need it. The tracker aura is also a very good thing to get if you can get it. Make sure you have an Arctic bear familiar, because it generally helps you out get a resource more quickly. Bring 2 because it won't last you an hour. Before we get into the tactic, I just want to show you the arena. On screen right now, you can see the arena with the top left being Hunter, bottom left being woodcutting, bottom right being mining, and top right being fishing. Within the middle, north and south, the mushroom fields where you want to be climbing over. We'll be going over this at the mechanic section, and with the minefields in the east and west. And in the middle being Croesus. The X's on the map will be the statues, and the little icon next to the X's to the left, for example, at woodcutting, is the deposit box where you want to put your resources on. It is very good to just have a little overview of the arena and know where everything is. The tactic. It is very important to understand what you need to do at Croesus. On screen right now you can see a written version of a step-by-step walkthrough of the kill. Later on I will actually be showing you how to do this in practice as well. So if you're more of a visual learner when it comes to clips and stuff, I will have that later on in the video as well at the full kill walkthrough. I'll be just live commentating everything that I do and just be showing you it. But for me personally, it always helps if I just have a piece of paper or just a written explanation of what I need to do. The method is called long, short, rot. This means that you're going to be doing the following, and we're gonna have woodcutting as an example role just to explain it a little bit easier, right? Okay, here it goes. First things first, you gather 16 woodcutting resources. As I said, this applies to every resource, but as I said, I'm going to be having woodcutting as an example role. You want to click the glowing skilling node at all times. If there's a mechanic like a bomb, which we'll get into the mechanic section, laying on top of the node, just go into the non-glowing node. And if your full skilling node is depleted, which will happen later on, we will get into that when we go over a full kill breakdown, you just go to the skilling nodes that are on the side called the Lumbridge Guards. So you gather 16 of your resources. You then put the resources on the deposit slab that is next to your statue. So in my case, that would be woodcutting on the woodcutting slab. Then you woodcut another 8 resources, which you then click in your inventory to rot, which gives you 8 rotten resources. Then you gather another 16 resources, and in the case of this example, that will be timber, aka the woodcutting resources. By this time your resource should be depleted, meaning there will not be a glowing node anymore. If there's not a glowing node anymore, just get your final resources at the Varrock guards at the side. Make sure before you leave that your node is completely depleted, as I said, by not having the glowing thing node being active. If you've gotten your 8 rotten in your inventory and your 16, in this case timber for woodcutting, you want to go long. You will always be running anti-clockwise, and running long means going 2 plots from where you started. So with woodcutting, it will mean you go to the mining plot, you fully skip the mining plot, and you go to the fishing plot, going through the 2 mushroom fields, which we'll go over in the mechanics section of this guide, and obviously in the full kill breakdown as well. When you have your 16 resources at the fishing spot, you want to be using it on the fishing statue by just clicking on the fishing statue, making it so you should only have 1 timber left if you had 16 in your inventory, using 15 on the statue. And if you're not sure if you used all of them on the statue, just re-click the statue and it should say 0 timber needed, or fungi timber, or whatever it's called, needed on this statue. Then you want to right click their deposit box and withdraw all, gathering all the fishing resources they put on their deposit box, and then running short, yet again anti-clockwise, ending you off at the hunter spot. With the fishing resources in your inventory, you click on the statue at the hunter spot, making it so you can restore this statue. This is the plot where you will be ending, where you will be restoring your statue, and where you'll be praying. But before you restore your statue, make sure to rot the resource node that is there. A lot of people find this very confusing and very complicated. That's why I will add in a clip right now on how to do it. It's very easy. Just click on the main skilling node with 10 rotten in your inventory. If you've done everything right, you should have your 8 rotten and 2 resources left over. Click those 2 resources to make 10 rotten. If you do not have 10 rotten in total, just mine some of the resources that are on the side at whatever plot you'll be ending off at. Giving you 10 resources, click on the skilling node and it should come up with a pop-up saying you poisoned the skilling node, slowing down the fungus resource respawn rate or whatever. If you're confused on if you've done it, just re-click the main resource node, like the big one, so like the Araxide, the Daganov, the Giant Mole, or the Leviathan, depending on which one you need to rot. Yet again, you rot the resource where you end at and you restore your node. So in this case, when you start at woodcutting, you rot and restore at hunter. I will be showing you a slide with all the routes that you need to walk for every single role after this, or on screen right now, whilst I explain the last little bits, being praying and restoring. So you just want to restore your statue, which is quite simple, by just clicking restore, dodging the mechanics, and then you want to pray. Usually, if you do everything right and do a perfect kill like you would do when you're experienced at the game, you will have 2 mid fungi energies, which we'll go over in the mechanics section. After the second mid, as it's called, you pray and then you open up Croesus and you kill Croesus by clicking on the yellow and white glowing particles and not on the red particles. But in the case of a learner, you usually won't have your statue done in time. Just wait out until someone calls P or pray, and just pray at your statue and then go to Croesus and do what I just said with the colored particles. If you're colorblind, go to Gorvak at the start, right click him and turn on colorblind mode. Just don't click the red ones, okay? Then you should be fine. Alright, let's go into everything else that you need to know, like the mechanics and of course the routes you need to walk. As mentioned before, it is very important to know which long, short routes you should walk. Yet again, with the example I showed, woodcutting is long equals fishing, so using it on the fishing one, gathering the fishing resources, and ending at hunter, where you will rot and restore the statue. With mining, long means going to hunter and putting your resources on the hunter statue there, gathering the hunter resources, running them to woodcutting, and ending at short, equaling woodcutting, rotting the woodcutting resource, and restoring the woodcutting statue. Hunter, long means going to the mining resource, putting your resources on the mining statue, gathering the mining resources, putting them on the fishing statue, ending at the fishing statue, restoring a fishing statue, and rotting the fishing skilling node. And lastly, fishing, long means bringing your resources to the woodcutting, adding it to the woodcutting statue, gathering the woodcutting resources, running them short to the mining statue, adding them to the mining statue, restoring the mining statue after you've rotten the mining resource node, being the giant mole, by clicking on it with 10 rotten in your inventory. And that is it for all the long short routes within Croesus. And lastly, before we go into a full kill overview, the mechanics that are going on during your Croesus kill. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as just gathering resources and then just walking those routes. Cool. No, that's not it. I hate to break it to you. You actually need to dodge mechanics, but SusAlert will help you. As I said, it's an overlay that you will have on screen that is just kind of like a timer, countdown type of deal that will just tell you when resources will happen, as you can see on my screen right now. The first mechanic that will happen is the red bomb. How you want to dodge this: when SusAlert says 2 seconds until the mechanic, you walk 3 squares or 4 squares away, and then you just walk back to your skilling node. Next up is the fairy ring. Just make sure you're not standing in it. Yet again, as long as you walk away at 2 seconds at SusAlert, you should be fine. Next up are the slimes. This is the mechanic that I talked about that Crystal Mask completely negates. So if you have Crystal Mask, you could just keep on skilling. It will break your Crystal Mask. Make sure to pop Crystal Mask. Have it up at any point during the kill if you can, because other mechanics, as I said before at the beginning of this guide, it can also break the Crystal Mask. It pretty much gives you kind of like a grace period when getting hit by a mechanic, so just make sure you have it up at all points. If you do not have Crystal Mask, just don't get hit by the slimes by either trapping them behind something or just running away from them. I would not recommend it. It is very tedious, but do as you please. Next up, yellow bomb works the exact same as the red bomb. With 2 seconds, just walk away a couple of squares, then walk back again. If you're not sure, just stand until it lands on you and then walk back, but you will get a feeling for it when you do it more. Next up is the stun mechanic. You can do anticipate and just continue on cutting without having to re-click the skilling node, and just using the anticipate hotkey if you have one. And if you do get hit by the mechanic, make sure to click freedom so you can keep on cutting your resources. Next up, the sticky fungi. This is the one where you need the protein logs or the file torch for. You just click underneath you when they spawn. What I like to do is after the stun, I like to just hover my mouse underneath my character, and then as soon as they spawn, just instantly click it to clear the sticky fungi. Next up is the green bomb. Same as the other bombs, you just want to walk away so you do not get hit by it. The green bomb has a bit of a funky click box compared to the other ones, where even if you stand next to it, you sometimes can get hit, so be careful of that, be wary of that. Next up, another fairy ring, same as the first fairy ring, just don't stand in it. Next up, you have the blue bomb, indicating that the mid fungi spawn will be soon upon you. Same thing as the other bombs, just don't stand in it. With 2 seconds on your SusAlert, just walk a couple squares away so you can dodge it. Next up will be another stun mechanic. Around this time, you want to make your way to the middle for the mid fungi energy spawn. This is where you will be getting most of your points, and you will also be getting most of your enrage at Croesus, the red bar underneath the health bar of Croesus, if you mess this up. So just make sure around the stun or just before the stun happens, you run through the middle and get the mid fungi energy cleared. Lastly, the 2 mushroom fields. First of all, you have the glowing mushroom field, which is very easy. Just click on the glowing mushrooms. Make sure to click it once, because Jagex actually decided to make good click boxes here, making it so you can actually climb over them very, very smoothly and not having issues with it. So just click it once, just go over the glowing ones. With the other mushroom field, which is the thing that people struggle with the most, there's a clear path that you can walk through, but this is where you want to use your double search and your bladed dive, or just double search if you have it. Go stand at the lowest square of the staircase that goes down. Make sure you're facing straight. Take your time with this. Be patient, because this is literally what messes up most starter kills, because people just because if you get stuck in this minefield, it will just destroy your resources. You will not have enough. You have to backtrack, and pretty much the entire kill is ruined. So what you want to do is stand at the lowest staircase possible, face straight, press search again. Don't walk, don't click, only press search, and you've touched this mechanic. Right, let's get into a full kill overview with live commentary so you understand what to do. So, the kill has started and you're interacting with the glowing skilling node. Gathering your first 16 resources. When a red bomb spawns, you want to walk away at around 2 seconds. You want to walk back. And as you can see, it's not spawning on top of me and I can continue on cutting. Next up, the fairy ring. With the position I'm in right now, I can just walk around the corner of the skilling node and I'm fine from the fairy ring and I do not need to deal with it. Next up, the slimes. Due to crystal mask, I can actually ignore them whilst I gather my 16 resources and bring them to the deposit box. I run back to my timber fungus. As you can see, the slime hit me and it cleared out my crystal mask. Whilst running, the yellow bomb dropped on me because I was moving. It wasn't on a skilling node where I needed to be. And now I'm going to be gathering the aid I need. I'm going to anticipate to actually dodge the sun attack and continue on woodcutting. Next up, the sticky fungi, which will spawn underneath you at random. So just make sure you hover your mouse underneath your character. And as you can see, it didn't spawn underneath me for this kill. So I got the 8 resources I can rot. I click on the resource in my inventory and I got 8 rotten. Oh, let me dodge the green bomb real quick by walking away. It's in an awkward position. Keep in mind, the green bomb has a bit of a weird hitbox compared to the other bombs that are here at Croesus. For the fairy ring, just want to walk away. I actually got 9 rotten, but fine. Next up, slimes again. Same thing, if you have crystal mask, just pop it, just wait, don't do anything. My node has just depleted. As you can see, there's no glowing node anymore. Which means I go to the skilling nodes on the side and just finish off my final 16 here. Blue bomb coming in. Around 1 second, you want to walk away. And my timer was off. Actually, the blue bomb and the green bomb are weirdly timed. You even want to walk away at around 1 second. I'm hit, so I drink my restore. There's a stun coming in, so you should anticipate. But I'm on the run, so I do not need to. Waiting for the mid-energy fungi, which will spawn around here. Make sure to hover underneath your character, because you can get a sticky fungi here as well. So keep that in mind. You want to re-click your helper as soon as the node despawns. In the mushroom field, you just want to click on the glowing mushrooms. Make sure to look if your crystal mask is up, so if you get hit by anything, you won't lose anything. So fairy ring, because I'm on the move, I don't need to worry about mechanics. As you can see, we're at the bomb field. I'm standing at the lowest stair. I search again. We're at the other side. And now I use my 16 resources on long. I gather the resources that I need to bring to short. And go to the next field. When you get here, you want to click on contribute fungus. And as you can see, I can restore the statue now. I'm stunned, so you free them. With the 10 rotten, you want to go to the skilling node and click on it. You should get this message. You poison the fungus, slowing down the regrowth. This means you have actually dealt with rotting the resource whilst I get a sticky fungus underneath. Here I switch to the artisan mesher because it actually gives me better rates to restore the statue whilst the green bomb spawns on me and I run away. Whilst restoring the statue, you just want to deal with the mechanics accordingly. Slime's coming up. Just chill here with your crystal mask, otherwise run around the statue to trap the slimes. The crystal mask. Blue bomb coming. Run away. A stun is coming up. Anticipate. I can pray now. You can pre-pray it, so half pray it. I'm not going to do that for this example. I'm going to just make my way to mid. Because after second mid is when we will open up Croesus and do the kill. You interact with the mid energy fungus. And you make your way to your statue and pray it to open up Croesus. The bar is full. You go to the middle and you interact with whatever skilling node is in the middle. Don't forget, click the green particles and the yellow particles, but not the red particles. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, you're an absolute champion. Good luck in getting your kills. I hope you found this useful. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and my name's SusAlert, and I'll see you guys in my next video.